The temple that Guruji built, far away from the clamour of New Delhi, lies a place where people's souls can be charged and their hearts seduced with beauty. Here, the air is fresh, the grass is green, and the eye brought up shot by a gleaming white marble structure mounted by a massive granite linga. The linga proclaims that this place is the seat of Lord Shiva. It climbs to the sky, prophesying the rise of Shiva Dharma, or righteousness, and a new dawn of religious consciousness. A figurine of Lord Ganesha, intelligence personified, greets the fortunate visitor to whom the temple doors have opened. Ahead of it is a beautiful statue in front of garden, shows Lord Shiva as a handsome, fair youth, as fair as camphor, embodiment of mercy. He is the essence of the world, garlanded with serpents. May He, the Father and the Mother, forever live in our hearts. Our fulsome salutations to them. Karpur Gauravam, Karuna Avataram, Sansara Salam, Bhujangendra Haram, Sada Vasantam, Hridayar Vinde, Bhavam Bhavami, Saitam Navami. His wide, kind eyes are open, his face is relaxed in a soft smile, and his hand is raised to grant blessings. His seat is an enormous open lotus flower, and he has for his canopy the five-headed serpent Sheshnaga. Inside the complex, a gleaming brass visage of great Lord shows him in same posture. Significantly, Shiva, the supreme yogi, is not meditating. He is on his tiger mat and has just uncrossed one of his legs, ready to look into the problems of his devotees. The sacred words Om Namah Shivaya are emblazoned inside the main hall. They offer an immortal promise that Lord Shiva's and indeed Guruji's help, for they are one and the same, is at hand to anyone who but trusts him. An impossible dome gets built. That these grounds of the mandir are indeed Lord Shankara's is borne out by the stupendous incidents that have been witnessed by those involved in its construction and those who frequent the temple. When the mandir was being built, its dome, as instructed by Guruji, had to be in the shape of a Shivlinga, divine symbol of Lord Shiva. This was possible provided a solid base was given to the structure. But Guruji wanted a hollow base. The architect believed that its design was unfeasible and put up stiff resistance. Yet, construction began as per Guruji's wishes. The lower half of the linga was built without any problem, but the top developed a crack in the absence of any sort of support. Guruji's construction in charge, a Sikh devotee known as Raghuveer, who incidentally has a very weak eyesight and thereby hangs another fascinating tale of Guruji's power at work for those who would seek and find, was told of the problem. He asked the constructor to give it a second shot, but the result was disappointingly the same. The problem was put before Guruji, and Guruji said, "Ask them to try it once again. This time I will provide my base for support." So construction was taken up for the third time, and the circular top was made without any fissures whatsoever. Guruji's support had evidently made up for the inherent physical weaknesses of the structure. That it is his spiritual force that which keeps the structure from collapsing was also made manifest. When it was built, the Shivlinga was made up of lightweight and light-colored tiles. Later, the lightweight tiles were replaced with black granite tiles. On top of that, a heavy chandelier was hung from the middle of the linga. Thus, not only was an unfeasible structure built, weight was added on it, but with Guruji's grace, it remains resilient and stable, confounding the seemingly inflexible laws of physical world. Even the soil is miraculous. As the mandir and its surroundings were developed, It was clear that the place was and is indeed favored by Lord Shiva. Even to the casual observer, the growth of the plants and the trees was exceptional. A lady planted at the temple a few of the flowering plants she had brought from a farmhouse. To her amazement, these plants bloomed into flowers at least twice the size in the mandir as compared with those planted at her farmhouse. Once permission was sought from Guruji to have the lawn grass recarpeted, he gave his go-ahead, but there was not much time left. A temple function was fast approaching. The temple gardener went ahead with the task. Once the grass was laid down, it was clear that the decision was not correct. On 2 counts, more time should have been given for appreciable growth of the new carpet of the grass, and the variety that had been selected was one of that tends to cut the feet initially and become soft only after the first cutting, which was out of question due to paucity of time. However, to everyone's amazement, the grass grew exceptionally fast. The first cutting was taken up well before the function, and the growth was so good that another trimming was managed just before the function. The quality of the carpeted lawn on the day of the function was admirable, and the gurus of grass growing were stumped. Guruji is always there. There are only other inexplicable goings on in the mandir that hint at a supernatural force going about its benign work. Regular visitors to the temple have witnessed the idol of Lord Shiva on the temple grounds changing expressions, and in year 2006 during Holi, there was a spot of color on Shivji's brass idol that adorns the hall. It is also certain that the omniscient Guruji has a temple within his protective gaze at all times. A school teacher recounts a memorable experience. She had gone to Mandir very early on the occasion of Guru Purnima so that she could attend school later. She reached the Mandir at 6:15 a.m. Only the gardener saw her come to pay her obeisance to her Guru on this auspicious day, and as was later confirmed, he told no one of the visit, but someone else had also seen her. On the teacher's very next visit to Empire State, Guruji called her and said, "Auntie, you had visited the Mandir on Guru Purnima at 6:15 a.m. I was watching you in my meditation." Renaissance of faith. Ages hence men shall look upon this sacred spot as the birthplace of Dharma. Within our own lifetimes, the Bade Mandir shall rise foremost in the estimation of men. It shall herald a new dawn of spiritual consciousness and inaugurate through the men, women and children it blesses an era of goodwill among mankind and peace among neighbors. For behold, the Shivlinga has risen again. Its ascension proclaims the coming of deliverance. Those oppressed by the iron hand of fate shall be released from the miserable bondages of disease and ignorance. Those bound and subjugated by rampant evil shall find new strength and courage and win. The ocean of suffering shall be humbled by the small boat of faith and courage that braves its way through its oars, being the Sadguru's word and his grace. Om Namah Shivaya. The wayfarers shall cry, Shivji Sada Sahai, and they shall find safe harbor in times of crisis and moment of searing agony. These words emblazoned in the temple, branded in their hearts and minds through Guruji's labor, shall be their battle cry, their friend, their protector, their love, their soul guiding light. Adharma shall be caught in its climax, and they shall be saved. The Mandir shall be the salvation of those who struggle through the material and psychological debris of a civilization at a war with itself. Guruji's grace manifesting through the temple will heal them. In times to come, the Mandir will testify to his being. The winds of the world shall carry his word. His will be done, and the temple will remain as his, Lord Shiva's mark of mercy on earth. May Lord Shiva allow all to come to his sacred grounds. May he grant all the wishes of those who come, and may Sadguru forever keep us in his sharan. Satsang's the company of truth. A satsang speaks from the heart of truth. It is the truth rendered in words, and it has the wonderful potency to lift its hearers or readers above their mind stream. The satsang is a devotional tool, one that has a long and revered standing in the religious tradition of this country. A satsang occurs when a group of people talk, or in this case, write about their experiences and faith. Through natural sympathetic listening or reading, it draws its audience into the circle of faith. As an electron carries an electric charge, a satsang carries a charge of faith. These satsangs are for those standing on the edge of skepticism and faith. Each satsang, as we have learned from Guruji, blesses both the reader and the writer. Each one offers a turning point in the life of an individual as distressed as you are. Each also offers a continuation, a reformation, a moment of faith. For in Guruji's presence, we are in the presence of him whose light is more radiant than the instantaneous luminescence of all the suns in the universe. And each puts the sword to doubt, which walks so many times arm in arm with faith. Doubt and faith both inhabit a world of contradictions and contrariness. Satsangs put the doubt to sword. Each of these true life stories show how the spirit of man rises up to claim its innate faith. We call that faith Guruji. Others have called him by different names, all as dear, as loving as him. The satsangs offer you who are wondering whether to take the leap of faith, a springboard. Listen to them and dive headlong. The divine holds you in his arms. All these stories of innumerable devotees scattered all over the country are miracles. But what is a miracle? It is the moment of faith in hearts. It is the first and foremost miracle of love, and only then an evidence of the supernatural in our natural affairs. So the characters of these stories, Guruji's innumerable devotees, are writing of experiences that found them overwhelmed, overawed, that made them vulnerable and defenseless, that stretched their faith, that tested their spirits, that showed the chinks in their armor, that made them strong, courageous, enduring, and hopeful. They are reporting experiences of being carried away by a divine current. They're talking about the light they saw in the dark night. These satsangs are our true companions, for they carry the Guruji's word, and adherence to his word is paramount. For the word is the Guru. The satsangs carry the energy of Guruji. They not only recount how his divine will saved and nurtured his devotees, they embody that energy and allow you to savor it and to be benefited by it. Each of these satsangs speak of Guruji's love for his children and the many pains he took to take care of them. It is time for his children now to bear his word in mind, to honor it in speech and deed, and not to besmirch his memory. The satsangs are the many leaves of the great tree of truth, each singing its song, each rustling with faith. Enshrined in the satsangs is the devotee's love for Guruji and his for them. May it touch your heart as surely as it has touched theirs.